Hello, hello, hello. Happy snow day, everybody. You all have got snow. We've got snow. Everybody has got snow, right? I've got snow. You've got snow. All God's children got snow. All right. Y'all know, you know, I'm just a little church girl. I can't help it. It's in me and it comes out of me. I am Senator Angela Williams Graves, representing the 21st Senatorial District in the Commonwealth of Virginia, which is about 95% of the city of Norfolk. And that is, and where we do good work on your behalf. And so I am excited to be here with you today. This is the last Wednesday of session. So it is our last day. It's not our last day of session, but it's our last Wednesday. Our last day of session is actually on Saturday. And so it's been a very interesting session, starting with no water, right? We all came up, we were ready to go. And Richmond, there was a storm. We had no water. And we gavelled in on Wednesday, as we were required to do by the Constitution. And then we went into recess for the rest of the week, and we came back on Monday. And I will tell you that those 3 days really meant a lot. I didn't realize how much actually gets done in those 3 days, not only from a practical standpoint of our committee starting and us starting to hear bills and evaluate bills, but also behind the scenes where our staff is working on bills and getting everything in the correct posture with drafts and whatnot. And to be perfectly honest with you, it has just thrown us all for a loop. It's thrown us behind. And we're still playing catch up. We really are. We're still playing catch up. But at this point, we've got Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So we got 3 days, right? We've got 3 days left to get it all together and finish our work on time so that we don't have to go into a special session. Okay. And so during this session, we have seen a lot of bills. We have amended our budget, and lots of folks are working on that. And so we don't have a whole lot to tell you about right now. I'm going to give you, okay, so hold on. You all know I play producer. And so, all right, here we are. Where are we? So I just got finished kind of telling you that, right? So I jumped ahead of the slides. But yeah, so we're all here, and committees are done. The only committee that's really working is finance. Okay, finance is working. They are working to, they got all the final bills that had financial implications. They got all those done. And now they are working on balancing the budget with all of the different budget amendments. And we had some, I don't know, 800-900 budget amendments. And so folks, there are some folks who, aren't going to get anything out of this budget, but the majority of Virginians will. And I'm very, very pleased about that. And we talked about that, I think it was the last meeting, the last time we were together, or the last What's Up Wednesdays in January that I did. I can't remember when we talked about the budget. This session is a blur. And then on top of that, it's been super cold, y'all. It has been super, super cold. I mean, colder than any of the weather that we've ever had in Norfolk, right? And in Virginia, it has been super, super cold. And so now, yet again, it's snowing, and it's supposed to snow for 2 days. But don't worry, I'm good. I mean, like, I've had people text me and whatnot, and I posted last night on my Facebook page. I'm good. Doesn't matter what happens. I went to the store last night. I got my cereal, I got my honeycombs, and I got my milk, and I got me 2 cans of Pringles. I'm good. All right. I went out to dinner the night before and got me a couple of little veggies that I have in my little refrigerator in my room, and I have a microwave there so I can warm up whatever. And if all else fails, there's cereal and milk. Right? There's cereal and milk. I tell people I learned how to eat cereal for dinner when I was a kid. My mom would cook, and if I didn't want what she cooked, it was like, you either eat nothing or you can eat cereal. And so I learned how to eat cereal for dinner a long time ago. So let me give you a bill update. We started with 14 bills that went over to from the Senate to the House. Okay, so we started with we had 14 bills that passed out of the Senate and went to the House. And of those 14 bills that passed out of the Senate and went to the House, 8 bills have passed the House and the Senate, and 3 bills are waiting to be voted on by the House. And this was as of yesterday. So one or two of those 3 might have already been voted on, but I think actually, this was as of last night. So no, this is correct. This is absolutely correct because we put these slides together after session was over. So 8 bills have passed and 3 bills are waiting to be voted on, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that means that out of 14, I have 11, 3 died. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Here's the thing. I don't work on bills that I don't believe in, right? Or that I don't feel are necessary. And everybody doesn't agree with what I feel is a good bill or what I feel is necessary. So once bills pass through the House, it's like a check and balance system, right? It is another set of eyes, a different lens, a different perspective, and nobody gets all their bills passed out of the House and the Senate. Well, maybe Senator Lucas. Maybe she does. She's president pro tem and she's president of, she's chair of finance. So maybe she does. But like nobody gets all their bills passed out of the House and the Senate. And so when bills pass out of one chamber, they go over to the other chamber and a different set of eyes and a different perspective is put on the bill. And either they pass or they don't. Someone said bills die and that's fine. That's why God made next session. So that's where we are. So now if you're paying attention to, if you're looking at the floor sessions, because that's all that's on right now, there's no committees, all the committees are done. If you're looking at floor sessions, you will hear bills, if amendments are put on bills and those bills come back, like the House rejects the amendment and they insist on conference, or the Senate in the House, how you'll hear the Senate rejects the amendment and they insist on a conference. And then you'll hear both sides conceding to conference. All right. So you may go, well, what in the world is conference, right? Conference is when you have 2 bills that are basically either they're identical because there was a House bill introduced and a Senate cognate introduced, or vice versa, a Senate bill introduced and a House cognate introduced, meaning the same bill introduced in both bodies, right? Excuse me. If there are amendments to the bill on either side, they then have to, if either side rejects the amendments, then they go to what's called conference. Now, an amendment doesn't have to be something like a whole paragraph change, or an amendment can be something as simple as the wrong code section was referenced, okay? An amendment can be something like we left out a word. So the sentence in the code would not be grammatically correct. And we work hard to ensure that the code is grammatically correct. It's correct in its content. It's correct in its statute reference, and it's correct in its grammar, right? And all those things. So it could be something as simple as that. And then conference, excuse me, y'all. Let me hold on. I got water right here. Okay. Conference is just a way for us to be able to get both bills in the same posture or in the same format with the same language, and then they marry. Okay, and then it becomes one bill with both patrons, and they marry. Okay, so conference can be something as simple as a technical change, making sure that that technical change is correct and is accurate and is reflected in both bills. And even if it's one bill, so if it has no Senate or House cognate and it leaves the Senate, goes over to the House, if they make an amendment, then I have to be willing to accept the amendment, and then the bill is good. If I'm not willing to accept that amendment, then the bill can go into conference for us to hash it out. All right. Now, those can be more philosophical differences. They can be more not simple technical things like a period or a comma or grammar, but they can be technical in terms of how are we outlining a new process? How are we outlining a new statute? What are we doing? What exactly are we doing with this bill, right? How do we make it better? What parts of it? There may be parts that need to be stricken from it. There may be some things that need to be added to it. I have a bill that is being married to another bill that is similar in nature. Okay. Excuse me. And so that's where, and so in conference, we will line by line marry those two bills together, okay, and make them one bill. All right. And if we can't agree on what should stay and what should go, both bills die. If you can't agree with the conferees on, because there are three, so whoever the party is that has the majority, which right now it's Democrats, so Democrats have the majority, so there will be 2 Democrats and 1 Republican on each conference committee. When Republicans had the majority, it was the opposite. It was 2 Republicans and 1 Democrat on committees. And so we are literally running through the Capitol, not running really, but like running through the Capitol, finding our people and working together to hash out whatever is the difference. And then 2 of the 3 conferees, that's what they're called, the people who are assigned to the conference report to hash out the conference report. 2 of the 3 conferees has to sign off on the conference report. And so, and people go, well, that's easy because you got 2 Democrats on there. Not always, because sometimes Democrats and Republicans agree, and there may be 1 Democrat that doesn't agree. So you got to have a 2 out of 3 signing off on that conference report. And then that conference report goes back to both bodies, goes back to the House, and it goes back to the Senate, and the conferee or the patron, depending on which chamber they're in, is responsible for accurately explaining what the changes are that were agreed upon in the conference report. And that is to the integrity of the process. That is to make sure that everybody is on the same page and knows what they're voting for, because a lot of times it's so much going on that our Division of Legislative Services, DLS, doesn't have the time to reprint the whole bill with all of the changes uploaded and all that. Sometimes they don't have time to do that just because of the sheer numbers of conference reports, excuse me, and bills that are coming out of this last 3 days. And so the conferee and the patron are responsible for explaining to the body what the changes are accurately, intelligently, and ethically, right? So this is not the time to try to sneak something in, right? It's not the time to do that. Now, folks have done it, and they've kind of lost their cool points, if you will, because it's not the time for that. But this is a time to genuinely make changes to a bill to make it better. And if you can't agree on it, then the bill dies and we can choose to bring that bill back next session. All right. So if you're watching the sessions and you're seeing the conference reports and these conference committees, as they are called, this is usually the two of us, three of us huddling up at somebody's desk, huddling up in the hallway. We might be in somebody's office or whatever. These are not real structured committees, right, with dates and times and all that kind of stuff. It's those three people getting together, or at least two of the three people getting together, coming together on one accord, and then informing the third body if they did not participate, because sometimes you can be on more than one conference committee. And so you are working on multiple bills. And so, again, trust in each other and ethicalness, is that a word, y'all? Ethicalness, it's not ethnicity. Having good ethics. I'm gonna go with that. Showing good ethics, displaying good ethics, right? That part. Now I'm gonna have to look that up. That part is what is very important during this time of the year. And then by Saturday, all the conference reports, if they aren't completed, they die. And the bills die with them. And so then all the conference reports that were completed, all of that language is integrated into the bill. And then that bill goes on to the governor's office for his signature. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be long days because we're going to have a lot of start and stop. The budget amendments are going to be presented usually, they have to be out 48 hours. So they're either coming out today or tomorrow. And I think we can waive the 48 hours. I don't think we like doing that if we have to, but if we can't, then it means that we'll have to come back next week to finish up the budget part, the budget amendment part. Okay. So I hope it's not like the sexiest episode, right? But I hope that it has helped you to understand a little bit about the process. We kind of talked about how a bill becomes a law, but this is that wonky part in between where your bill can be in like purgatory and you got to figure out how to get it out. Right? You got to figure out how to get it out of purgatory. And so this is what we're going to be doing for the next 3 days, in addition to continuing to vote on bills that came out of committee first, second, and third read. So let me see what else I got for you. All right, here we go. Track the bills. This is how you can track the bills. That's the bit.ly link for you to be able to track the bills. You can watch the session. We're still streaming the session live, even though, all the other stuff isn't streamed live, but we're still streaming the session live. And then if you have a need with constituent services during session while we're here, please call us at 804-698-7521 or info@norfolksenator.com, And actually, you can also, you can email us, or you can go on our website, norfolksenator.com, and click on the constituent services button there, and you'll be able to see where you can send us a service request on our constituent services for any constituent services issue that you might have. I thank you so much for the opportunity to be your senator. I really appreciate the opportunity to be the senator representing the city of Norfolk, representing the 21st Senatorial District. This work that we do is very, very important. It is very, very impactful. And I just want you to know that it means a lot to me that you all put your faith and your trust in me to be able to do this work. And so we don't always agree. I mean, that's just the nature of the game. It's the nature of the beast. We don't always agree. But my goal is to always, 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 always think about you when I'm making decisions and to do good work on your behalf. So guess what, y'all? You know it. I love you. You know it, right? You know it. You know that I love you. And you know, you know that I know that you are a walking, talking, living, breathing miracle. So if nobody's told you, now you know. Now you know. All right. So I am headed off. You know, we record this earlier in the day or sometimes the night before, right? Depending on what's going on. And I'm headed off. We start session at 11 today. Normally we start at 12, but because it's a long day and we've got a lot going on, we start at 11. So we start at 11 today and we go until we go. We go until whenever. And then I'll pack up and go back to my hotel room with my honeycombs and milk. All right. I will see you. We're actually too, one more thing. We're doing a after session, What's Up Wednesdays. So I want to make sure that you tune in next Wednesday. I usually take the week off after session is over just to decompress, but I'm going to do this one thing on next week because I think it's important for us to give you a good recap of what happened in session, and so that you know where we are, where we stand after things are done, what got passed, what didn't. And so join us next week. I think that's the 28th. I think. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me check quickly here. Next week. It's the 26th. So it's the 26th. So come join us on the 26th for What's Up Wednesdays. And that will be our end of session wrap up. All right. All right. I love y'all. Take care. See you soon. Bye.